Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today, back with another game review, and the Flyers, they fall 5-2 tonight to the Penguins in the first of 3 games. This was not the best game. I honestly thought the Flyers had a good night offensively. You had a handful of, good shifts and offensive chances, shots from the point. Things like that. You had, 2 goals from your top line tonight. That JVR Couturier-Farabee line really is looking really good and promising and continues to put up points, but that, was really the only line that, did anything offensively for you on stat sheet wise. They had a lot of looks from some of the other lines, but I have a feeling they're going to have to break it up at some point because some of these lines just cannot get going offensively. I mean, they get their chances, but they just don't score. It makes me think if they'll change something for Thursday's game. I wouldn't be surprised if Konechny goes back a little higher into the lineup because he was on the 4th line tonight. But going into the game, you had JVR with Coots and Farabee, as I said, Giroux, Hayes, Patrick, Lindblom, Lawton, Voracek, and then Raffl, Bunneman, and Konechny. Defense was Provorov, Ghost, Sanheim, Braun, and Hagen Myers. Starting in the first period, you had 2 power plays in the first 4 minutes for the Flyers, and they did nothing with them. Had a couple chances. I think the power play is getting momentum because, again, the power play tonight was very bad. It was, I believe, 0 for 5. So, stat-wise, it didn't really do anything for you. You had a couple chances, I think, to me, the biggest issue with the power play is the zone entry. If they don't win the face-off, they're most likely not doing anything with the power play, and that's even if they get, if it's in the offensive zone, if it comes outside or if it's at center ice or something, that's one thing. But if they get the offensive zone draw and they lose it and they're right back down, and the Penguins send it right back down, the Flyers are not doing anything with that power play because they are that bad at zone entries to where you have a team that was 29th in the league coming into tonight, and you did nothing on the power play. I mean, you had a couple chances. You had a couple plays where you kind of got guys, passing through the seams. You had a couple good setups here and there. A couple shots where, you had some rebounds and stuff, but they really didn't do anything with the power play tonight. I think that definitely gave the Flyers momentum in the first period. Really good first period overall. They definitely had some momentum. They had some push. Really, the Penguins, first only chance here was actually a shot blocked by Patrick. The Flyers were really defending well at the red line, blue line, right through the neutral zone, all over Pittsburgh once they got in or anywhere near the offensive zone. Hart had a really nice save of the Penguins' best chance of the period, 4-on-2 drop pass. Malkin kind of fluttered it to the net, and Hart ended up making the stop and gave up no rebound. The 4th line after that, the Konechny, they all had a really good shift. Konechny had a couple shots, some good cycle time. Hart had a couple big saves late, but Flyers were really defending well. It seemed like late in that period, it was all Pittsburgh though. The Hayes line was stuck in the in the defensive zone. Excuse me. They just had a handful of it was like turnover city tonight in the Flyers' own zone. Had a handful of guys turn over the puck. And the Flyers ended up taking a penalty here. Giroux takes a hook late with 15 seconds left. Few turnovers late, but they survive that push that the Penguins kind of put on there at the end of the period. Shots on goal after the first were 12-5 in favor of the Flyers. They had a good amount of zone time, defended pretty well, just want to kind of continue that and kill off the penalty to start off the period, and they do that. They kill off that penalty. Hart had a couple saves, and then the Flyers get a goal right after that. Turnover at the red line. Couturier, nice pass over to Farabee. Back to Coots, and he sends it down low to Farabee to give the Flyers a 1-0 lead. Really nice play there on a 3-on-1, and the Flyers, they score the first goal again. And then I believe less than a minute later, maybe even, pretty close or a little over a minute later, Kapanen scores. Way too much passing. I mean, they had like a 3-on-2, 4-on-2, maybe even a 3-on-1 rush if they hurried, and it turns into a Penguins breakaway. I mean, I don't understand why Hayes was stopping there. I don't mind it, but again, he kind of put Ghost in a bad situation, in a bad spot to make a play, and then Ghost, turned the puck over. So that didn't help. Obviously, it's just a bad turnover. Really nice play from Kapanen, though. I mean, he had that. He knew he was doing that once he got the puck. I mean, it was an unbelievable play, and it's a tie game. Flyers take a penalty here. Raffle takes an interference, stupid penalty. I don't even understand what Raffle was even doing here. They called it an interference. I thought it was supposed to be a cross check, but they called it interference. And they score again. Unbelievable passing play. It just seems like for a lot of the penalty kill is worrisome. Whenever the Flyers take a penalty, it's like crap, because I just have that feeling it's going to be in their net, and it was here. Hart ends up robbing Kapanen off a breakdown in coverage. Rust, he scores 3-1. Two guys in front of the net, they're just standing there looking at Rust, and he flips it right through Hart's 5-hole there. I really didn't understand. Again, it was a stretch where you scored the first goal, and then they tied it right after, and then you had a stretch from probably, that 16-minute mark, maybe the 8-minute mark, where you played probably the worst hockey you could have played possible, and you were down 3-1. So, Flyers power play, Penguins take a hold, shot from the point from Ghost, few chances, nothing going. End of the second, really bad start to the period after that goal. And again, you get the first goal, shots on goal were 26-19 in favor of the Flyers after 2, 14-12 Pittsburgh in the period. So, again, the Flyers ended up having a power play here to start this period, as Jake drew a trip late there with 15 seconds left. Malkin tripped them up. Flyers power play. If you go and you look at the Penguins power play to start the second period, the amount of shots they had in that small amount of time, it was minute 45. I think they might have had 3 or 4. The Flyers couldn't even get set up in the zone. That's how bad it was. The power play is just terrible. I mean, they waste like 30 or 40 seconds because they have to make a change and make the perfect play up the ice. And then by the time they get to the offensive zone, it's sent right back down again. So they really need to do something there. I don't really understand why they even changed up some of the stuff on the power play, because they had Jake on the left side, and then they had Patrick on this side, which would usually be on Jake's side where you want a lefty. That doesn't help, because there was an instant, there was a certain sequence in the second where Patrick takes a shot, it gets blocked. Well, it landed right on a spot where if it was a righty there, say Giroux, he just would have completely let one go for a one-timer off that, kind of like ricochet play where it just kind of lands on his stick. But Jake is in no spot to shoot because he's left-handed and he can't make a play on that. So, and it's things like that just kind of frustrate me with it, because they just can't get anything going. And when you have guys in the wrong spot, they're limited then. So I don't know if it's not a personnel issue, because there is a lot of talent. They have a little too many playmakers, but they need to get guys to shoot the puck, and that's kind of what they're doing. And I think Ghost is probably one of the main guys that you'd want to see continue to shoot the puck. But yeah, their special teams has been an issue this year so far. Starting off the third period, again, they couldn't get anything going on that power play. Get another one. Jake gets a chance, goes wide. Actually, that replay went off of Jari and a little piece of the post and went out. Another start to the period with 2 power plays, and you do nothing with them. So the first period, you start off with 2 power plays, nothing. Third period, start off with 2 power plays in a game where you're down 3-1, and you get nothing on it either. Flyers, they definitely had push there after the power play opportunities. They ended up getting one back. Farabee scores again. Really nice play from Cooch to force the turnover low. Sends it in front. Bouncing puck all over. Farabee pots it home. It's 3-2. And then the Penguins score. I don't even understand. It's just, I don't even know who was supposed to be on the back check here. But if you look at the replay, Lawton and Voracek are kind of just watching it as it develops. Breakdown in coverage. Really nice passing play from the Penguins again. They had 2 really nice passing plays tonight. And they score. Ceci scores, of course. Cody Ceci scores against the Flyers. And then they score again an empty netter, which I didn't even know went in until the horn was going off, and I was like, oh, they scored, because Hart went to go out, and the Flyers had like a little 3-on-2 going the other way. All Konechny kind of had to do there was send it right back to Hayes, and he tries to make a move, loses it, they shoot and they score because Hart was already going off. So Hart had to dive back. It reminded me of Ryan Miller a couple years ago, where he had to dive back. He caught that puck from Zetterberg when he just dove and caught it out of midair. But they ended up scoring. So it is what it is. It's a tough loss, but again, you have a chance to bounce back. You have 2 more games against this team. And again, the Flyers, they didn't play bad offensively. I mean, they had 42 shots on goal tonight. So I think that kind of shows you that they're still, offensively, they're getting there, but the power play was bad, and they had a handful of turnovers tonight. I shouldn't even say handful, there was that many. just a lot of turnovers tonight, and it didn't really help you at all. So again, you can bounce back on Thursday. I suspect maybe a lineup change or two. I would probably think they keep that top line together with JVR, Farabee, and Akutz, excuse me. And I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of switch that up with DK in there and Patrick and things like that. Try to get those other lines going because they kind of need some help there with them to put some points on the board again. They're getting their chances, but you had another night where you had 42 shots, and you ended up losing this one 5-2. You dominated in the faceoff circle again, 62% to 38. But the power play killed you. You had some turnovers, and you just couldn't really get through from there. But remember, guys, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. And goodbye.